This video features materials protected by the Fair Use Guidelines of Section 107 of the Copyright Act. All rights reserved to the copyright owners. Copyrighted materials can be fairly used for criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Welcome back to the Solo-Dolo channel, where we are on a mission to highlight the benefits and strengths of people that have chosen a solo path. I recently read an article titled The Happy Loner by Bella DePaulo, PhD. Link is in the description box below. The article lit the fuse for a discussion on what makes a quote-unquote happy loner. First, let's describe what a quote-unquote loner is, according to Annalie Rufus, author of the book titled Party of One, The Loner's Manifesto. A loner is someone who prefers to be alone. Bella DePaulo goes on to extend this description by stating, quote, "That person is so very different than all those who remain on the outside feeling isolated, but so desperately want to be on the inside, feeling that they belong." Unquote. In my opinion, this is where one of the main distinctions between solo happiness / contentment versus alone / loneliness lies. I think that this is a key motivation to why a person can be solo and simultaneously happy. People that chose solitude are choosing what they define and accept as contentment, versus wishing that they were part of a large group and constantly surrounded by people and unable to attain it. I think that some people are projecting their fears and desires that equate the solitude afforded by being solo to the loneliness that non-loners feel when they have to sit with their own company. It seems like some people may be terrified to be alone if they lose their audience and have to rely on themselves. I suspect this is the space where we as men make the mistake of entering a rebound relationship while going through a first or second divorce. Instead of choosing ourselves in solitude, we rush back in like a fool. I made the rebound relationship mistake in the past, and it was not a good decision. Fear narrative. I think that a fear-based narrative has been established by Hollywood through the portrayal of loners as people that so desperately want to be a part of the group, but cannot. So they resort to maladaptive and antisocial behaviors as a result. Think of the 1976 movie called Taxi Driver by Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro. The main character, Travis Bickle, is an extreme stereotypical loner and Vietnam War veteran who is clearly suffering from mental illness, loneliness, and probably post-traumatic stress disorder. In the movie, the character spirals down a path of antisocial behavior, fueled by his underlying issues. I won't spoil the movie for you if you haven't seen it, but the character's attempts to join society and meet his needs to cure his loneliness fail miserably. In my opinion, this is an extreme example of a loner that yearns to be on the inside with the group, but cannot make it happen. I think that there is an underlying fear-based theme in the movie that states if a man is alone, he must be struggling with mental illness and be dangerous. In contrast, the fictional character Bruce Wayne, also known as the Batman in The Dark Knight, made a conscious decision to walk a solo path. The traumatic events Bruce Wayne witnessed as a child had a direct effect on the life choices he made as an adult. However, as the writer Scott Snyder stated on X in October of 2019, quote, "I get asked sometimes if Batman can ever be happy, and the strange thing is that for me, he is. At least with being Batman. He created a family, but more than this, he's dedicated his life to something he believes in. It's life lived in service of and sacrifice for an ideal. His demons come from doubts about Batman's effectiveness, not doubts about his choice to be Batman." Unquote. In this case, I think that we can see that the solo path Bruce Wayne chose provided him with the happiness and contentment he defined, not what society has chosen. Alone equals lonely. This is a myth, and it is continually perpetrated and reinforced by the mass media. Author Annalie Rufus points out in her book that the annual false talking points have created the holiday self-deletion myth. As a matter of fact, an article published by the Daily Pennsylvanian in 2022, link is in the description box below, provided research evidence by the Annenberg Public Policy Center, which reported that the mass media continued to perpetuate the holiday self-deletion myth, even as recent as the year 2021 and 22. The article even provided evidence by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which shows that December had the fewest average daily self-deletions of any month as of 2020. In my opinion, this is more evidence that the narrative being pushed is that the solo path equals loneliness. I think that the media has a responsibility to report the facts, versus perpetrating contagious myths that can negatively affect so many people. Men are especially affected by this myth because we are more likely to complete self-deletions. In 2021, Men died by self-deletion 3.9 times more than women. See the description box for references. Divorced men need to hear this truth so that we're not continually influenced by false data, like the holiday myth, and consequently let solitude become loneliness during the holiday season based on nonsense and influence from the general public. Speaking from experience, I felt the loneliest in my entire life, at around the age of 35. When I was in year 5 of a dysfunctional and toxic 7-year marriage. The marriage was in free fall, and spinning out of control. My now ex-wife and I did not have an emotional connection, thus leading to the chronic loneliness while married. My point is that being solo does not equate to loneliness. You can be married, or have a girlfriend, and have 4 other family members in your home on a daily basis, and still feel lonely. Now that I'm solo and approaching 50, I'm more content and happier than I have ever been. I believe it is because, like Batman, I've chosen my path and can fill my life with the things, and define the relationships that I need. The happy loner. Here's a short list of ideas that can help make a happy loner. Self-reliance and the ability to enjoy your own company. Learning how to self-soothe when appropriate, even as an adult. Refrain from comparing yourself to others by limiting social media use. Remember, that's their highlight reel you're seeing on Instagram. Limit the alcohol intake. It's a depressant. Travel. Start small if you have to by visiting places in your local area. Then work up to long-distance trips. And finally, develop and stick to an exercise routine. This is especially important for men as we age, because it will help keep our testosterone levels in check. And if you decide to, a happy loner can even find some semblance of community, from time to time, through hobbies or shared experiences, and still choose the solo path, while achieving contentment in their version of happiness. Read the articles and let us all know what you think as it applies to your life. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe, as it helps me to keep bringing insights from the solo-dolo path.